What's up, you guys? Welcome back to our podcast. Today's topic of discussion is NRI Problems. It's more like NRI experiences, where me, Sharon, and Langston will talk about our experiences as NRIs. So basically, an NRI is a non-residential Indian, and we are basically Indians who are immigrants in different countries. Like, for example, my dad moved to Saudi before I was born, and so I was born and raised in Saudi. Sharon and Langston, their parents moved to Dubai, so they were raised in Dubai, and we'd go back home every year and stuff for vacation. And I feel like this podcast is not something that's just gonna like be relatable to like Indians. It's also I feel like all the third culture kids who are listening to this, I feel like, well, I hope they can relate to this as well. But just a heads up before we start this podcast, we're not some fucking brats that you're like some like spoiled brats that like we hate India, or like, oh my god, like disgusting, yada yada. We're just as Indian as you, okay? Our moms like cooked our foods with MDH masala, and we grew up watching Kyunki Saas Kabhi Bahu thi with our moms, okay? So just to let you guys know, we're probably on the like. We're not brats, okay? We're not talking as like strangers. India's not a strange land to us. So we're just as Indian as you guys. But so we grew up freaking watching Hatim and Shaka, Laka, Boom Boom and all these like Indian TV shows, and like freaking Chacha Chaudhary on Sahara TV, dude. Who hasn't watched that? And like Mowgli, dude. Have you ever seen Mowgli? Like Jungle Jungle Baat Chali Hai Pata Chala Hai. Okay, so this podcast, we're going to do it just like kind of like our old podcast where it was more of an interview. We're just going to ask each other questions where we don't exactly have any questions noted down because procrastination. But I feel like we'll come up with questions as we move forward with this podcast. But I have my first question to all of us is, what were your experiences? Like, give me some like good memories, or like what did you experience as a child whenever you'd go back home to India and like meet, like how did you adapt to it? Sharon, you go first, bruh. Yeah.
So when I would go back to India, I'd go to Delhi and to Jammu, right? So Delhi is a metropolitan, it's a big city, it has an international airport, this and that, whatever. But Jammu is like a smaller city, so it has a smaller, like it doesn't have an international airport, just a domestic airport. So I think I remember this one time, we were we actually, you know what, yeah, we were just going, this was before the international airport in Delhi had like upgraded itself. So I remember from Dubai we're like landing in Delhi, okay, and this was the first time I experienced this where like it was daytime when we landed, and we kind of went down on the tarmac and we had to get into a bus and then go to the terminal, right? It's not the whole thing that's connected to the the building and whatnot. So the moment like the doors of the airplane open and you're like walking down the steps, like as soon as we walked through that passage, this whole like aura of India like just hit us like through the atmosphere, and the aura was basically just like cow shit and like drainage smells and just like just the worst. But you were like, sigh of relief, we're in India, let's party. That's what it was. Like, even though it's weird, that's what it was. And then I remember this one time when we were in Jammu, this one summer. There was like, Jammu is like a close to the border, the India-Pakistan border. So it's a little bit of there's a little bit of a military unrest in the state, Jammu and Kashmir. So this one summer there was like a military coup in the state, and everyone was sitting indoors, and there were power cuts every 2 hours in the day. So like power 2 hours, and then no power, no power, no power. And it was like periodical, like it's not like in the night we had more power or anything. So basically what we would do, like my cousins and I, my sister, my two cousins and me, we would just basically take our 4 PlayStation controllers and play SmackDown vs. Raw, Royal Rumble match for 2 hours straight, 20 players in one ring, whatnot, and we just play for 2 hours, and like whoever survived till the end like just one until the match was over or the power got cut. Like that was it. And then the moment the power cut, like it was like bring out the carom board and let's play carom board on the terrace or whatever. And then when the power came back against Royal Rumble, let's start that shit again. Um, and like this other time in Jammu, this was the same summer. I remember this is like one of the most beautiful things I've seen, but basically because there was a military unrest, people were protesting. And we live kind of like on a hill, and when we come down the hill, there's like a main road with like probably 5 lanes, and basically that whole road and the whole street was filled with maybe like 10,000 people, and all of them were holding fire torches, and it went up a hill, so you could kind of just see like an entire hill of like people holding up fire torches at around sunset time, and it was just the most like I can still picture it in my head. It was just the most like beautiful thing I'd seen, and it was amazing. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. Langston, what did you do when you came to India?
So I mean, I think like you guys have much more experiences than me, I would say. But like, so the last time I've been to India was like 4 years ago. That's literally 1 year after my freshman, like it was after my freshman year. So we went to Bombay, and then like we went to Goa for like 2 days or something. But then, I mean, in general, what I would say is my I would say greatest experiences, I think, were I think in Goa, where we went back, and then like so I would like my family lives in a village over there.
Oh wait, yeah, Langston, I remember seeing you in that village in Goa. I remember there was this farmer who had you on a leash, and he was like making you till the fields with like the carriage in the back, and you were eating a lot of grass. I remember this. I was like, oh, what is Langston doing here? I'm gonna probably meet him 3 years later in freshman year.
Fuck you. You have never been to Goa, bro. So, anyways, the point is, we lived over there, and like I think obviously when I used to go there, and every time I went there after a very long time. So it was always like it was like a new experience. Like I'm seeing it for the first time. So I mean, my cousins were there, so it was amazing to see them. I mean, my aunt and everyone. So it was all awesome. But I think definitely, like when it comes to like stuff like that, you feel like a foreigner because number one, so when you just land into Goa and you get out and like everyone freaking speaks Konkani. That's like the language over there. So, and I understand what my parents speak, but dude, in Goa, it's like way different. It's all dialect. So they're saying stuff and you have no fucking idea what they're talking about. And that's the same with my cousins because they all speak Konkani and I have no clue what's going on. So I'm like, what the fuck? And like you feel like a foreigner here. I mean, my cousin herself told me, "You're a foreigner." I'm like, yeah, technically, kinda. I mean, dude, she wasn't wrong because, dude, I literally do not know anything about the place. Everyone's speaking a different language. It's like if you put me in Spain or you put me into like any other country, that's how I would be, because I do not know their language or something. So I guess it was the same thing, yeah. But the good thing is, like, we knew each other, so that kind of helped. Obviously, they did speak English, but like that was the primary language. So I think I think communication was a bit difficult there, but it was fine. It got better. Then of course, also another thing I would consider this as an NRI problem was mosquito bites. Dude, I don't know. That is the worst shit ever because I think for everyone, especially if you're new in Goa or maybe even Bombay, you're more prone to getting mosquito bites than like the local people who live there. Uh, yeah.
You know what my cousins or my uncle would say? He'd say that, oh, the reason why you're getting more mosquito bites than your cousins is because your meat is more tender. And I was like, what the hell?
Dude, people would tell me my blood is more sweet. So I was like, what? I'm like, bro, you didn't even taste my blood. Like, do you want to taste it? Go ahead. Dude, how the fuck can your blood be more sweeter, man? Like, matlab ki, like, how? I mean, they were like, man, you tell him anything, he'll buy it. I was like, no, that does not make sense, but like, okay. Okay, the point is, that was bad, and then, I mean, other than that, okay, so the biggest incident, what I would say was, me and my dad got into a really big car accident in Goa. Like, so we are going to, there's a city called Panjim, so we were just going there, and there was like this left turn which we were taking, and it was raining that day. So when we took the left turn, like I think the car like slipped. So the car pretty much went, it toppled down the hill, I would say, and like it overturned and stuff like that, and it was pretty bad. Luckily, my dad was wearing a seatbelt because I mean he would have just fell over me, and that would not be a very good thing. And luckily I was wearing one because if I had to follow him, that would also not be a good thing. So, but like, luckily my dad like opened the door and like he actually got me out and stuff, and it was fine. Like, I mean, he did injure his head a bit, and I didn't injure my head. I injured my arm, so that was fine. Like, it was not that bad, but it could have been much more worse.
Are you sure you made it out completely safe out of the thing? No, no traumatic head injury that may have been detrimental for your future in terms of speaking Hindi or Konkani.
Oh my God. I can't speak Konkani anyways, but that was the worst incident I faced in Goa. But other than that, I think food poisoning in Bombay, like that was just really bad. I like Bombay kinda. I think because my mom grew up over there and stuff like that. So in that sense, it's definitely good to see all the stuff, like see the area and everything. But and like I think my grandparents also used to live there before. So definitely in that sense, it feels when I go there, it feels good knowing that your family has been here before. But other than that, I don't like the fact that it's crowded. I mean, the place where my mom was from was Borivali. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it.
Wow, he's the like Saif, he's the guy, who's the oh yeah, I'm from Borivali and from South Bombay and I'm like so cool. Oh my god.
It is fucking Borivali, benchut. Okay.
It's Borivali, dude. Oh.
Borivali only I said. Borivali, yes. Okay, yeah. You. Okay, okay, okay. What was I even talking about? Oh yeah, Borivali. So that was nice. It's a good place. But other than that, like Bandra and stuff, too crowded. I mean, shopping is good there, I guess, but too crowded again. So that's basically it for me from India, I guess. Like my major experiences, I would say. Anyways, so that's basically it. So Seth, what are your experiences considering that right now you're in India, but then how was it before when you used to go back and like what were your experiences like?
Well, for me, I'd like to start from the beginning. Like, my I don't come from like very um, well, my parents, they're both from Bhopal, and they were born and raised here. And but like Bhopal's always been a very like poverty-stricken like city. It's like, and no, there was like never like too much development in this like part of the country. And it's like, so like my parents both come from very like not very well off families, but but like my dad was the only one out of everybody in the whole freaking like khandan to like be able to make it out, like to get the opportunity to like go work in Saudi Arabia and like start a career over there. Like nobody in my family has ever left like Bhopal. Like I mean, like they've left the city to like like vacation over around India, but like never like left the country or like never like tried to move out from Bhopal. And so it was very weird for me because like alhamdulillah, like growing up because of like my parents moving to Saudi, we we lived very like privileged lives compared to like my cousins or like my other relatives. And it's weird because it's just completely different worlds meeting, because like growing up in Saudi and growing up in Bhopal are so different. And I don't know, whenever I'd go back home, because like I'd go back home like once a year, every year, for like a month or two. but whenever I did, it would be like it was slightly a culture shock. Like I didn't have a language problem because like I speak Urdu just fine, or Hindi or whatever. But so, but like when growing up, like okay, well, like I kind of relate to like Sharon's like in Jammu, like how like the airport's tiny because like we don't have an international airport in Bhopal to this day. Like there's no international airport here. We only have a domestic airport. We always had to take transit flights from like Delhi or Bombay or something. But like it was weird like adapting to like these things in Bhopal because I don't know. I just never grew up like seeing this stuff. Like I was used to like there are, like certain things that are normal, very normal to us. Like say for example, I don't know, like running water or like electricity 24/7. Like whereas in like Bhopal, like those things are very like iffy. Like sometimes you have running water, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you have like electricity, sometimes you don't. And it was never like 100% like it was very hard for us to adapt. And plus, like, coming here and then, like, dealing with, like, mosquitoes and, like, I don't know, freaking malaria and all that shit, it was weird. But, whenever I'd come back here for, like, a month or two and I'd be like, I know this country pretty well, But, like, now that I've been living here in Bhopal for a whole year, like, I moved here, like, last year, like, I realized that, like, I didn't know shit, dude. I had to, like, learn so much more, I had to, like, learn to like drive on these like the roads over here. I had to learn to like freaking like ride my I started riding my scooter now. I fell off my scooter. I got into a scooter accident, which is it was kind of hilarious, but like cuz like I told my cousins, I was like, "Yo, I fell off my scooter, man. Like can you believe that? It's crazy." And they'd be like, "Nah, that shit happens all the time. Like I don't know what's the big deal, whatever." He's like, "Are you okay? Like you're okay, right? You're alive. You're fine." And like, "Yeah, I just fucking busted my knee. That's all." But it's just there's certain things over here that are so normal to them, but like to us, like third culture kids, it would be like, hold the fucking phone, dude. And we're like, where's that's not normal. Like I don't want to freaking like deal with this shit. But like alhamdulillah, we did live very privileged lives outside of India. I'd say, in my opinion, but like there's certain things that I like learned myself like. Going on the street, like everyday life, where like for example, if you're in India and you're on the street with no street lights, you should turn your phone's flashlight on when you're crossing the street, because like sometimes people just decide to go on joyrides without their like headlights on, and they will fuck you up. They will like they will run you over. Because there's no street lights, their headlights are not on, like, you're a goner. So just turn your flashlight on so, like, they can see you, there's, like, someone walking, like, across the road. And, shit like that, like, life hacks in India, or at least in Bhopal, are, like, literally fucking life hacks, If you don't, if you don't, like, do them, you'll, like, fucking lose your life. Okay, so the street light situation is pretty bad over here. Electricity situation is pretty bad over here in general, but the street light thing reminds me that like my brother actually got into a really bad motorcycle crash over here on the street here because the street lights weren't on. And the thing is, his headlights weren't on because his headlights broke like the day before. I think someone smashed it or something while it was like parked outside. I don't know. It's fucking wild world here. But so he was going down a hill, and his headlights weren't on, and there was a black stray dog that he couldn't see because the street lights weren't on, and he hit the dog, and actually no, I think he hit the brakes to save the dog, and he just slipped, and he injured himself really, really bad, and like we live really close to that street, and like to this day that like even though there's so many car crashes and like people like falling off their scooters or like getting into motorcycle accidents, like they still haven't changed the shit over here, you know what I'm saying? So that's something also that we have to get used to, as we're like like shit doesn't get done here that easily, it's weird, but I guess people are used to it, so I guess you gotta get used to it either, because like India is not changing for anybody, like you gotta change for it, you know what I'm saying, as a like third culture kid or whatever the fuck, like it's yeah.
Okay, Kind of continuing with what Saif was saying about crossing the streets. I had this one experience where we were in Delhi, in Noida, and I think one of my cousins was here, and basically, like, we lived right next to a main junction, like an intersection. So traffic from four different directions, and like 3-lane traffic each, right? And so you'd think there's probably like a traffic signal, or some sort of like pedestrian crossing, or some sort of like, I don't know, traffic officer to direct the traffic. But no, this is like a 4-point intersection with no traffic lights, no rules, no traffic coordinator to tell which traffic to go at which time. It's just a clusterfuck, basically. And people, like, just to add on to the absurdness of all of this, people, not just cars, but like pedestrians will also cross the road in the same, like, whatever mixture this whole crap was. So I remember one time we would normally cross, like my granddad and I, we would like cross the street somehow, manage to not get like run over from 15 different directions, but we'd manage. And then this one year, like somehow 20 years later, the government decided to build a footbridge, that would help the pedestrians. So I was walking with my cousin and I was like, oh, that's cool, they built a footbridge there, now we can use that to go across, safely. And he goes like, footbridge? Who the hell's gonna climb up the stairs and go to the freaking footbridge? What are you talking about? No, dude, we're just gonna cross the road. And the traffic, like, I don't know how to explain this, but imagine if you're at an intersection and all the traffic signals are green and everyone can go right, left, straight at any point continuously forever. 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. That's how it is. And how do you cross in that? And that's when I realized that if I die, I'm gonna die in a street in India. So now I guess we can talk about like meeting other people, of different cultures in India. So like, for example, Saif, I know you've had some experiences. So like, just talk about like maybe meeting someone from any other place in Bhopal, like a student or whatever.
Yeah, actually, I do. A couple of weeks ago, I made these like American friends here in Bhopal, which was really weird because like that's so rare over here. I mean, like if you're in like Mumbai or Delhi, it's like completely normal tourists. But if you're in Bhopal, it's like, yo, what are you doing here? What are you here to like see? But whatever. So when I spoke to these guys, they're from North Carolina. Okay, they're from North Carolina. They're like really cool. They're like really chill guys. They're very down to earth and whatnot. And I asked them about like how because like I asked them like, why did you come to Bhopal? And then they were like, oh, you know what? I had two options. Either I could come to Mumbai, or I could go to either I could have gone to Mumbai, or I could have gone to Bhopal. And I didn't know much about India, so I picked Bhopal instead. And I was like, all right, that's cool, I guess. And then when I asked him, like, did you like it? Did you, like, actually get to experience the culture like you wanted to? And he's like, dude, I loved it. He loved it here in Bhopal, dude. And, like, as, like, me as a Bhopali and, like, as an Indian, I don't love it here. I hate it. You know what I'm saying? It's, like, it was weird because, like, he told me about, like, you know how people, like, it's, if he's standing in public, someone would just like randomly walk up to him and like take a selfie with him, like without even asking for his permission. And he'd be like, you know what, you gotta learn to politely decline, but like it's weird because like they're not used to this. When I hear about stuff like this, I'm like, oh my god, this is Bhopalis being Bhopalis. But for them, it's like what is going on, dude? This is not normal. So for the like but they loved it. They loved India's like or Bhopal's like culture and like the food they have here, and like they didn't get food poisoning or anything. They were just like they were only here as like cultural exchange students. They didn't have any work or anything, so they were just like just like breathing in the culture. So I guess, I mean, if you're in a country just for the culture and not for like the daily like issues, like I don't know, like driving here, because they would Uber everywhere. and so they didn't have to deal with that. But like there's a lot of things as a tourist that you miss out in a country. You know what I'm saying? You gotta live in a country to actually understand like how things work here, or like how you gotta you find your way around, like I don't know. It's weird, but they came here as tourists, so I don't think they really got the true experience like anybody would. But you won't be able to experience the culture unless you go to like the hood of the country, I feel like, or like the village, I guess. Like my friends, like my North Carolinian friends used to tell me that like people stare at us a lot and whatnot, and I mean they're like, we got used to it though. And I was like, you know what? I never got used to it, because like whenever I was in public, I can't speak in English with my siblings, because like people really stare a hole into me, and it's just like tone it down. Like I'm one of you guys.
Oh yeah. So whenever I would go to these supermarkets, I would dress up in shorts and stuff because I don't want to dress up like too much, because I was like thinking, these guys would be like, oh, these is foreigners, because they do look at you weirdly if you actually wear shorts. Like if you enter the store and you're wearing shorts, and like they just everyone like looks at you, like it's like as if like fucking what the fuck. That happens in Sharjah, okay, not Dubai.
And then they started slut shaming you because you were wearing shorts and slippers, and they're like, ये हमारे परंपरा के खिलाफ है, ये यहाँ पे नहीं टॉलरेट होगा, तुम ये अपनी विदेशी चीज यहाँ से लेके जाओ बाहर. Man, that happens to me in Dubai. That happens to me in Dubai. I literally got when I was okay. So right here, yeah, in Sharjah. No, yeah, Sharjah is the backward part of UAE, which is where Dubai is. But you remember Al Shab Club? Yeah, there's this. There's this like a fair, like a kind of like a circus. Not a circus. What am I saying? It's like a mall with like merry-go-rounds and stuff like that. And, basically, in Sharjah is a little more religious and conservative in the UAE. So like you're not allowed to be around like women, and you shouldn't be wearing shorts and slippers and stuff like that. Yeah. So literally like 2-3 days or maybe a week ago, I go back into the mall, right? I mean into the thing, and I had to maybe get medicine or something, and I'm wearing shorts, like really. They're not really short shorts. They're like workout shorts, and they're short. And I'm wearing slippers. And then I walk in, and the African security guard just looks at me, goes like, Sir, where are you going? I'm like, I need to go buy medicine. He goes like, sir, what is this? I'm like, what? He goes like, what is this, sir? And he just points at me up to down. And I'm like, what do you mean? He goes like, sir, what are you wearing? This is not, you're not allowed to wear this. This is not correct. Why are your legs showing so much? And I was like, what? I literally looked at him. I'm like, I'm not wearing like hot pants or anything. Like, I'm a dude. I'll be out in 5 minutes. I need to buy medicine. It's an emergency. What are you doing?
That's weird, dude. Freaking, Sharon, you freaking harlot, dude. You freaking. Well, that shit happens in Saudi as well. Like, I went to the mall with my like friends, and my friend like this guy, like, he caught my friend and he's like, yo, like, what are you doing? You're not allowed to wear shorts in the mall. By the way, you're not allowed to have afros in the mall either. It's weird. I don't know. No, cause like I was in the mall and I saw this board. It said no afros, no dogs, and no smoking, and like no shorts, and like no like skateboards. And I was like, okay, dude, these are fucking weird ass rules, dude.
Okay, so there's this other weird thing I want to talk about is basically when I went to Rochester, there was this weird like identity crisis kind of thing that happened, because over here in Dubai, like when people ask you in university, for example, like, oh, where are you from? And you'd be like, oh, I'm from India, oh, I'm from Saudi, I'm from Pakistan, I'm from, I don't know, Peruvia or something. Hey. When I went to Rochester, it was weird because when people ask you, oh, where are you from? You go like, oh, I'm from Dubai, India. I'm not really sure how to explain this. Like, I'm from I'm born in India, but I've lived my whole life in Dubai, so I'm kind of from Dubai, but from India. And it was this weird, like, awkward moment, and it was kind of weird just because, like, you didn't know where you belong to exactly. And there was, by the way, there was this one moment I remember because I hadn't heard like Arabic in so long. This one, I think 2 months into the semester, I was in the library and I just heard two guys talking in Arabic, and I was like, wow, this is like music to my ears. So I went up to them and I was like, hey, where are you guys from? And they go like, oh, I'm from Saudi. Oh, I'm from UAE. And I was like, oh, UAE. Holy shit, I'm from Dubai too. I'm from RIT Dubai. And he goes like, oh, that's cool. And they start talking in Arabic, and I was like, oh, no, I'm from Dubai, but I'm actually Indian, and like I only like live in Dubai. And it was such a, I could see his face, like the excitement level dropped so fast, and he was kind of just like, oh, you're one of those. Oh.
Yeah, that is really awkward. I would always say Dubai because I mean I would say born and raised in Dubai but originally from India. It's so weird to say that, but sometimes I would just say I'm from Dubai because I mean that is where you're actually from. Like yeah, but that definitely that identity thing I would definitely agree to it because it is tough to say like where you're actually from. But I mean for if you are in Rochester, it does make more sense to say you're from Dubai, but technically you did come from the campus there to the campus here. There was no campus in India, so it does make sense to say I'm from Dubai and like I'm come from IT to whatever. So in that sense, it's definitely because Oh yeah, just to share with you guys. So because there was this one part where someone asked me this question, and I said I'm from India first. Then he's like, no, but where did you come from? Like, how did you get over here? I said, oh, in
I came by the bus.
no, plane से आया भाई plane से I was like I am from Dubai actually. Then he's like, oh, Dubai, oh, okay, that's nice, damn. So do you have a Lamborghini? I'm like, no bro, that's still a dream, but
You should have been like, मेरी शक्ल नहीं देख रहे हो. Haha.
For me, as like when I was in the U.S. like for school, like it was weird because like I tell people like, yo, I'm from India, but I was born and raised in Saudi Arabia. And they'd be like, so you're Saudi? Like, your nationality is Saudi because you were born in Saudi. I'm like, no, that's not how it fucking works in the Middle East. Like, they don't give nationalities to, like, out if you're born in the country. They're like, but that's not how it works in the United States of America. It's like, yeah, it doesn't. But, like, over here in the Middle East, like, things are different. Like, my parents are Indian. Like, my nationality is Indian, but I was never, like, I never, like, lived there in India. Like, I go there for vacation. And I'd be like, but I guess, like, technically, like, I'm from Saudi, not really, but yeah. And then they'd be like, it's this. They would be so weirded out. Nothing would make sense to them. They'd be like, but you're from Saudi, and but do you speak Arabic? And I'd be like, no, I don't speak Arabic. They're like, how the fuck do you survive in Saudi if you don't speak Arabic? I'm like, I don't know, dude.
Are you Muslim? Oh my god. Holy shit. I like love your culture. It's so great.
Does it's like they say stuff like, does your mom wear the hijab, or is she forced to wear the hijab? It's like, no, not really. Like, I don't know what the fuck to say to you. But yeah, it's weird. I don't know. Identity is such a weird thing for like all three of us, because like we weren't raised in India. Like, and like when I'm here, I've been living here for a year, and I asked someone for like the route to somewhere, like the way to somewhere, and they'd be like, how the fuck do you not know that? Like, everybody knows that who lives here. And like, yeah, but I'm not from here technically. Like, I wasn't, like, I don't know where this place is. Can you just like shut the fuck up and tell me where it is, and like stop asking questions about my past? Like, shit. And then be like, you know what? Fuck you. I'm just gonna use Google Maps. It's very complicated over here. It's yep.
I guess, like, coming to the end, like, the bottom line of all this whole discussion is, 2/3 of this podcast loves the country that they're a part of and born in, which is India, and then the 1/3 is just a piece of shit moron who doesn't care about his country, complete waste of life and space. And I have one final story that will put the nail into the coffin, which is this one time in freshman year when there were 7 people who were trying to get to a mall from university, and we decided to call a cab. And because I was there, because I didn't know the directions to give to the cab driver, and I guess we didn't have technology like Google Maps at that time, which is so weird. The freaking cab driver should have figured out our location. But since he didn't know, we needed to hire an expert in location giving and Hindi language skills. And his name was Langston Menezes. And this piece of shit, this moron, started giving directions to the Pakistani cab driver who doesn't speak English in broken Urdu and barely what you could call English, which sounded something like, "Hey, bhai, you know this place, RIT building, you know here, you know this round circle, you go from there left, then आप सीधे सीधे जाओ, फिर आप राउंड करो, भाई आप तो समझता नहीं है, हम तो बोलता है, बॉस, भाई बॉस, बॉस भाई, भाई, brother, boss, please, father, listen to me."
Boss bhai, boss bhai, boss bhai, bhai boss.
And it took us probably like half an hour longer to reach our destination. And
But we reached. The point is that we reached and he got there. Oh, we had to actually, you know what? We had to end up running to the cab driver.
we did, right? He parked.
Yeah, we did. We actually did. He couldn't come to RIT, dude.
He was somewhere in like the bus stop. Yeah, and DSO, and that's like, I don't know, like 800 meters away from, or like a kilometer away.
Dude, for some reason I was like, I for some reason I don't know why I told him, can you see the pineapple building? And he was like, ये pineapple क्या है?
Oh yeah. Then he's like, "Oh, bhai, can you see the pineapple building?" He's like, "Boss, मैं इधर fruit salad नहीं बना रहा है. Please tell me where the location is. What pineapple, what mango are you talking about?" Yeah, Langston just hoping for the best, huh? Oh God.
Yeah. So I guess that's pretty much it. That's what. I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast, and I hope the other third culture kids who are not Indians related to this, sort of, because, you know, that's what we tried to do. We tried our best, but and I hope I hope, I hope the audio for this is good, not like last time, and we'll see you guys next week with an even better topic, hopefully, inshallah. I don't know what the next topic is, but yeah. I guess we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, bitches. See you guys.
Oh my God. Peace.
Kyunki sound